Hello friends, welcome back. This is the second lecture on bevel gears. In this lecture, we will deal with virtual number of teeth, force analysis, and here we solve one numerical. Before starting this lecture, everyone clearly observe the sketch on the screen. In this sketch, the cross section of teeth decreases in size as it approaches toward the apex point. Okay, observe that the teeth cross section is decreases toward the apex point. Therefore, the pitch circle diameter, module, addendum and dedendum decreases, and there is no single value for these parameters. In practice, these dimensions are measured at the large tooth section called the large end of tooth. Remember this. Here there is no single value for addendum, dedendum, pitch circle diameter and module. In practice, these dimensions are measured at the large tooth section called as a large end of tooth. The dimension of the bevel gears are always specified and measured at the large end of tooth. The addendum that denoted by letter S suffix A, dedendum that denoted by letter H suffix F, and the pitch circle diameter is capital D are specified at the large end of tooth. Specified at large end of tooth. Okay. Now move toward the virtual number of teeth. Before that, the analysis for the bevel gears will show that a true section of invalid profile of the tooth lies on the surface of sphere. Now everyone observe the sketch that is shown on the screen. It is not possible to represent on a plane surface the exact profile of a bevel gear tooth that actually lies on the surface of the sphere. The beam strength and wear strength equation are based on tooth profile. It is necessary to approximate the tooth profile as accurately as possible. The approximation is called as a trade gold approximation. Remember this, that approximation is called as a trade gold approximation. That question is also asked for 1 mark in multiple choice question. That approximation, trade gold's approximation. Now observe the figure A that is shown on the screen. The tangent to the sphere at the pitch point will closely approximate the surface of the sphere for a short distance on either side of the pitch point. Therefore, the back cone can be developed as a plane surface for constructing spur gear. Again, everyone observe this sketch B carefully. In figure B, an imaginary spur gear is constructed in a plane perpendicular to the tooth at the large end. Okay, observe this. Imaginary spur gear is constructed in a plane perpendicular to the tooth element at large end. Observe that RB is the pitch circle radius of this imaginary spur gear, and Z dash is the number of teeth on this gear. The gear is called formative gear, and number of teeth Z dash on this gear is called virtual or formative number of teeth. Now everyone knowing about that, the formative number of teeth that is given by, everyone knowing about the number of teeth, how to find the number of teeth in case of a spur gear. We know the definition of module pitch circle diameter to the number of teeth, and therefore number of teeth Z is equal to pitch circle diameter to the module. Similarly here, Z dash is the number of teeth on a virtual or formative spur gear. that is 2 times RB. RB is the pitch circle radius. Radius is considered here, divided by module. We consider equation A for getting the formative number of teeth on imaginary spur gear. Z dash is equal to 2 R suffix B divided by M. Consider equation A. Now everyone again observe the sketch carefully. Here where M is the module at the large end of the tooth. Remember that all the dimension in case of a bevel gear specified at the large end of tooth. Okay, because we observe the tooth of a bevel gear, that dimension of that tooth of a bevel gear is decreases toward the apex point. That's why there is a no single value, and that bevel gear specified at the large end of tooth. That's why this module is also at a large end of tooth, and Z is the actual number of teeth, Z is the actual number of teeth on a bevel gear. Okay, now Z, everyone knowing how to find the number of teeth on a gear. Z is equal to pitch circle diameter to the module. Capital D is the pitch circle diameter of bevel gear, that is shown in a figure. Z is equal to D by M. Consider equation B. From equation A and B, here dividing equation A and B, left hand side Z dash divided by Z is equal to right hand side 2 RB divided by D. Module get cancelled. 2 RB divided by D, that is equation C. Again everyone observe the figure B carefully. In figure B, line AB is drawn perpendicular to the line OC. Line AB is drawn perpendicular to the line OC. OC is the axis of bevel gear. Now here we consider a triangle ABC. Sin BCA, that is equal to sine, that is knowing to you, front side to the hypotenuse. Front side is AB, hypotenuse is AC. Sin BCA, that is sine 90 minus gamma, is equal to AB. AB is the D by 2 pitch circle radius divided by RB, and here we simplify and we get the value of RB is equal to D divided by 2 cos gamma. Sin 90 minus gamma, that is equal to cos gamma. We consider equation A and substituting this equation A in equation C. Substituting this equation 1 in equation C. After substituting the value of RB and after simplification, we get Z dash is equal to Z divided by cos gamma. Equation 2. Consider equation 2, and that equation 2 is the is for virtual number of teeth on a bevel gear. Virtual number of teeth on a bevel gear. And this is about the virtual number of teeth in case of a bevel gear. Now here we discuss the some important point which will important when we solve a problem. Now again everyone observe the sketch that is shown on the screen. A pair of bevel gears is shown in figure. D suffix P and D suffix G are the pitch circle diameters of the pinion and gear respectively. Gamma is the pitch angle of the pinion, while lambda, that is inverse L, that is the lambda, while lambda inverse L considered as a lambda, while lambda is the pitch angle of the gear. Gamma pitch angle for the pinion, lambda pitch angle for gear. Now observe the sketch. Line AB is perpendicular to the line OB. Consider a triangle OAB. Now in this triangle we consider a tan gamma. Tan gamma is equal to tan, that is front side to the adjacent side. Front side is AB, adjacent side is OB. AB is the radius of pitch circle radius of a pinion, and OB is the pitch circle radius of a gear. dP by 2 divided by dG by 2, 2 get cancelled, and tan gamma is equal to dP by dG. Now we know the diameter module into number of teeth, M into ZP divided by M into ZG. Module get cancelled, get cancelled, and finally the tan gamma is the pitch angle for pinion. Remember this, gamma that notation is used for pinion, and that is called pitch angle, and lambda, that notation is used for gear, that is clearly shown in this sketch. Tan gamma is equal to Zp divided by Zg, and using this relation we get the pitch angle for pinion. Similarly, we find out the pitch angle for gear, that is tan lambda is equal to Zg divided by Zp, number of teeth on a gear divided by number of teeth on a pinion. Okay, now that tan alpha is equal to Zp by Zg, that is considered equation number 3. Equation 1 and equation 2, that is in virtual number of teeth, and this equation number 3, and using this equation we get the value of pitch angle for pinion. Similarly, equation number 4, we get the value of pitch angle for gear, tan lambda is equal to Zg by Zp, and the sum of pitch angle of pinion and gear, that is gamma plus lambda, that is equal to pi by 2, that is 90 degree. Now the important, again one parameter is very important, the cone distance A suffix O, and that cone distance A suffix O, it is found by using the Pythagoras theorem. We consider a right angle triangle ABO, and we apply the Pythagoras theorem, and after applying the Pythagoras theorem we get the value of AO. AO is the cone distance. AO is equal to under root AB square plus BO square. AB is the pitch circle radius of a pinion, and BO is the pitch circle radius of a gear. That's why AO is equal to under root dp by 2 bracket square plus dg by 2 bracket square. Using this relation we get the value of cone distance. Force analysis of bevel gears. Again, everyone observe the sketch that is shown on the screen. Figure A, figure B, figure C. In the force analysis, it is assumed that the resultant tooth force between two meshing teeth of a pair of bevel gears is concentrated at the midpoint along the face width of the tooth, that is shown in figure A, where the resultant force P shown by the dotted line, act at a midpoint D of the face width of the pinion. The resultant force has following three components. First component, PT, tangential or useful component, that is in Newton. Second, radial, P suffix R, radial component, that is in Newton. And third one is the P suffix A, axial component. Okay. Everyone observe this sketch carefully. This figure A, B, C. Figure A, that is the pitch cone of the pinion, apex point of cone, direction of rotation, then that resultant force P, that is act at a midpoint of a face width, that is point D. This resultant force is resolved into three components, that is PT, PR and PA. Consider a plane ABCD, that is in figure A. Observe that ABCD, plane ABCD, shaded by the dots in figure A and again shown in figure B. And from figure B we consider a triangle BDC. Triangle in figure B, triangle BDC. In that triangle we consider tan alpha, that is front side to the adjacent side. Front side is BC divided by adjacent side is CD. BC, observe figure A, BC, that is equal to AD, and AD is the PS. PS is the separating component, that is again in Newton. That's why tan alpha is equal to PS divided by PT. CD, that is equal to tangential component PT. Tan alpha is equal to PS divided by PT. Consider equation A. PS is the separating component in Newton, alpha is the pressure angle, that is in degree. And from equation A, we simplify this equation and we get the separating component PS is equal to PT into tan alpha. Consider equation B. In figure A, the separating force PS, observe the figure, everyone observe the figure A. In figure A, the separating force PS is perpendicular to the pitch line OD. Therefore, AD perpendicular to OD. Line FD, observe the line FD, that is in figure A. Line FD is vertical while the line OX is horizontal, and therefore FD perpendicular to OX. There are two pairs of perpendicular lines and their included angle should be equal. Okay, there are two pair of perpendicular line and the included angle between that is equal. The angle between line OD and OX should be equal to the angle between line AD and FD, that is shown in figure A. Or observe the figure A, the angle between line OD and OX should be equal to the angle between line AD and FD. The angle between line OD and OX is the pitch angle gamma. Therefore, the angle between line AD and FD should be equal to the pitch angle gamma. Now, considering figure C, we consider a plane DEAF, and in that we consider a triangle ADF. In that triangle, we consider a cos gamma. Cos gamma, that is adjacent side to the hypotenuse. Adjacent side is PR, hypotenuse is PS. Therefore, cos gamma is equal to PR divided by PS, and therefore the PR radial component is equal to PS into cos gamma. Similarly, sin gamma. Sin gamma, front side to the hypotenuse. Front side to the hypotenuse. Front side is AF and hypotenuse is AD. AF, that is equal to ED, and ED, that is equal to axial component, and therefore sin gamma is equal to axial component divided by separating component, and therefore the axial component P suffix A is equal to separating component into sin gamma. Okay, now from equation B, here we substitute the value of PS in these two relations. We know the value of PS. PS is equal to PT into tan gamma. Therefore, radial component PR is equal to PT into tan alpha cos gamma, and axial that is considered equation number 7. Axial component, that is equal to PT tan alpha sin gamma, equation number 8. And the tangential component is determined from the, we know the relation for tangential component, 2 times torque divided by pitch circle diameter, or the radius, torque divided by radius. Okay, same here is used, and that consider equation number 9. PT is equal to m suffix t divided by RB. RB is the pitch circle radius. Now that thing is very important in case of a bevel gear when we do the force analysis. R suffix m is the radius of the pinion at a mid point along the face width. Okay, now when we do the force analysis, what do you consider? The resultant tooth forces act at a midpoint of face width. Okay, that's why here Rm is the radius of the pinion at the pitch point along the face width. Now here equation 7, 8 and 9 used to determine the component of a tooth force on the pinion. The component of a tooth force acting on a gear can be determined by considering action and reaction as equal and opposite. As the two-dimensional representation of force analysis that is shown in this sketch. Everyone again observe the sketch carefully. Here consider pinion as a driver, that is in figure A, and the gear is a driven. Now everyone knowing about that, here the pinion is observe the pinion rotation, the direction of rotation, and the tangential component for the driver is opposite to the direction of rotation, and for a driven same in the direction of rotation. Okay, and the separating component, see the separating component act on both pinion and gear. Separating component that resolved into two component, axial and radial component. Everyone knowing about that, the radial component, how to show the direction of radial component. Radial component always directed toward the center of respected gear. Now in figure, observe the figure C. For the pinion and gear, we show the radial component on pinion is always directed toward the center. Now here the important thing, how to find out the mean radius. The mean radius where the resultant force act is given by, observe the relation or observe the figure B. Everyone observe the figure B. In figure B, RM, R suffix M, mean radius, AC minus AB, that is the mean radius, because that point B is the midpoint of a phase width. Okay. Now here, observe the figure B, AC. How to get the value of AC? AC here for the pinion, that is AC distance is the half of the radius, dp by 2. Now how to get the value of AB? Now here we consider sine alpha. Sine alpha, here we consider first, everyone see this triangle, sine alpha, that is front side to the hypotenuse. Front side is AB and hypotenuse is B by 2. Okay, because this face width is considered as a B and half of the face width is a B by 2, or the from when we measure from the center to the particular end, that distance is half of that distance. Sine gamma is equal to AB divided by B by 2, and we simplify, and AB is equal to B by 2 sine gamma. And from these equations C, D and E, we get the value of mean radius R suffix M is equal to, we substitute the value of AC, that is dp by 2, minus value of AB, B by 2 sine gamma, where B is the face width of the tooth, and that is in millimeter. Now remember this relation to get the value of mean radius. RM, that is for the pinion, dp by 2 minus B sine gamma by 2. Now everyone knowing about that, when we do the force analysis, what is our aim? We find out the component of resultant tooth force and as well as direction of that components. Okay, now the magnitude is found by using these 5 relations. We find, first of all we find out the torque, then we find out the mean radius. After getting the mean radius, we find out the tangential component, and after getting the tangential component, we get the another 2 component, radial and the axial component. Okay. Now how to show the direction? Now the direction, tangential and radial, direction of tangential and radial component, that is same which was discussed in spur gear. Now see, the first component is tangential. First parameter, the direction of tangential component for the driven gear is opposite to the direction of rotation. And second parameter in tangential, the direction of tangential component for the driven gear is same in the direction of rotation. Second component, radial component PR. Everyone knowing about that, the radial component is always directed toward the center of respected gear. We consider a pinion, that radial component is always act toward the center of pinion. We consider a gear, that radial component is always act toward the center of gear. Third component is very important, thrust component, that is P suffix A. Now how to show the thrust component? The thrust component on the pinion is equal and opposite to the radial component on gear. Remember this. These 2 guidelines is very important to show the thrust on a free body diagram. The thrust component on the pinion is equal and opposite of the radial component on a gear, and the thrust component on a gear is equal and opposite of the radial component of pinion. The tendency of thrust component is to separate the meshing teeth, and this fact is useful in deciding their direction. This is about the force analysis of a bevel gear. Now let me solve one numerical. Everyone read this problem statement. A pair of bevel gears consists of a 30 teeth pinion meshing with a 48 teeth gear. The gears are mounted on a shaft which are intersecting at right angles. The module at the large end of tooth is 4 mm. Calculate A. The pitch circle diameter of the pinion and gear. B. The pitch angle for the pinion and gear. And C. The cone distance. This is the problem statement. Okay. Now solve this example. First of all, we collect the given data. The number of teeth on a pinion, Z suffix P 30. Number of teeth on a gear, Z suffix G 48. Module is given at the large end, M is equal to 4 mm. Now here determine or calculate the pitch circle diameter of pinion, that is D suffix P, and pitch circle diameter of gear, D suffix G, capital D suffix P, capital D suffix G. The pitch angle for the pinion and gear, pitch angle for pinion is gamma and pitch angle for the gear is lambda. And the last one, the cone distance is denoted by letter A suffix O. Now let me start solve this problem in 3 steps. First of all, we find out the pitch circle diameter of pinion and gear. A, the pitch circle diameter of pinion and gear. In that, the first pitch circle diameter of pinion, D suffix P is equal to M into ZP. M is the 4 and ZP is 30, and we get a pitch circle diameter for pinion 120 mm. Number 2, pitch circle diameter of gear, D suffix G. Here we use small letters. Basically, we use a capital letter to denote the pitch circle diameter of bevel gear. Okay, remember that. D suffix G, M into Z suffix G. M is the 4 and Z suffix G is 48, and we get a pitch circle diameter for gear 192 mm. B, the pitch angle for pinion and gear. In that, the number 1 pitch angle for pinion, that denoted by letter gamma. Okay, tan gamma is equal to Zp by Zg. We know the number of teeth on pinion and gear. Zp 30 divided by 48, and we take a tan inverse 30 by 48, and we get a pitch angle for pinion 32.0053 degree. Second parameter, pitch angle for the gear, that denoted by letter lambda. Tan lambda is equal to Zg divided by Zp. Zg 48 and Zp 30. We take a tan inverse 48 by 30, and we get a pitch angle for gear, that is lambda is equal to 57.9946 degree or 58 degree. And the last parameter, that is C, the cone distance. Cone distance is denoted by letter A suffix O, and we know the relation for cone distance. AO is equal to under root dp by 2 bracket square plus dg by 2 bracket square. And here we already find out the pitch circle diameter for pinion and gear. Under root 120 by 2 bracket square plus 192 by 2 bracket square, and after simplification we get a value of cone distance 113.2077 millimeter. If you have any query, please ask. Thank you very much.